Hello to your lovely faces. I'm back with another Tell Me Anything reading because I've been getting a few kind of intuitive things overnight. And I have to give a big trigger warning that it could be that somebody is dealing with a loved one who's passed away. Just to kind of show you an example, I saw the Judgment card from this deck when I was shuffling, and then you can kind of see this top card, it doesn't want to, like every time I kind of made it neat, it would slide off like this. So I looked at it and it's the Death card. So I don't feel like, I don't think it's going to be a surprise. I think if this is your situation, you're probably well aware of it. Can you see how it slipped off again? So it could be that, but it could also mean the death of a situation, the death of an end to a phase of your life, right? So I don't know what it's going to be until I start to pull cards. The first image that I saw, kind of as the kind of indicators, the things that I was seeing, I saw a bird cage. So it was kind of, I think it was either on a pole or it was hanging, but it was like an old-fashioned bird cage. I'd say it was kind of like, almost like that shape, like it kind of had the domed top, like vintage style, but the cage was open and it was empty. Now, birdcage symbolism to me often talks about sort of the chest and the heart, whether or not somebody is free to express the way that they feel, kind of like soul song, bird song, love, these kind of things. So for me, the symbolism is usually if there's a bird inside a cage and the door is shut, the cage is shut, then somebody's kind of trapped, they're not able to express the feelings. If the birdcage is open, then the feelings can flow freely. The birdcage being empty could be that somebody's kind of void of feeling for a situation. They have no feelings left for a situation, which may be why it's ending. Or it could be that somebody has literally left one relationship in order to move to another. Somebody's free, perhaps, out of the cage. So, yeah, no bird in the cage, just the birdcage. So take that symbolism as it applies to you. Then I saw a green frog. No, it's one of those quite very cute looking shiny green frogs, kind of like a lime green colour, and I could just kind of see its cheeky little face like this. So big eyes. I think they were kind of like orangey coloured eyes, and kind of like a derpy looking face. Like it was very, very cute. It was like meep, mlep kind of thing. It was very sweet looking frog, and it had kind of like, you know, the rounded fingers and toes, you know, so it can stick. So it was sort of crouching and looking like it was just about to jump. I think it may have been on a lily pad, I'm not quite sure, but so I got the impression with the open bird cage and this cute little green frog that was about to take a leap. I felt like somebody was about to take a leap of faith, possibly out of a situation where they had no feelings left, or possibly a leap to a new home, something like this. The frogs also symbolise for me, it's kind of like, I have a connection in my head with frogs and the song Why Does It Always Rain on Me by Travis. So it's kind of like, sometimes frogs symbolise being in a bit of a kind of like an emotional kind of down state. So they need to take that leap of faith into something new. So there's a bit of symbolism there personally for me when I see frogs. Also the thing about kissing a frog, you kiss a frog, you get a prince, that kind of thing as well could apply. I don't know, it may be something, you may be sat here going, oh my goodness, I just got, you know, I saw a frog in my pond. However it applies to you, take it that way, basically. So I got a series of songs. I Can't Help Falling in Love. It was the UB40 version. Wise men say only fools rush in. You know, there's other versions by Elvis, and I've got a cover by Hayley Reinhardt, I think her name is, but it was specifically the UB40 version. I also got Your Love Is Lifting Me Higher, Higher and Higher, by Jackie Wilson. I had to look up who sang that, I didn't remember. And then I got Don't Go Changing Just to Please Me, I Love You Just the Way You Are by Billy Joel. So somebody seems a bit like they're a smitten kitten, I think. A lot of love there. I also got a Vorai, which is it's a song that came out in one of my readings last week, but I feel like sometimes that happens when somebody's watching a reading. I hear it back like a soundboard, so I don't know if that applies or not. what else? The song that I randomized. So as I tuned into the energy, I randomized a song specifically for this reading. So this is the main song for this reading. I got Angels by Robbie Williams. Now, again, it could be, because this death card keeps showing itself, it could be that somebody loves has passed over. They talk about, I mean, it's a gorgeous song. Please do go and listen to it to kind of get into the mood for this reading. I'm loving angels instead, and through it all she offers me protection, a lot of love and affection, whether I'm right or wrong. And down the waterfall, wherever life will take me, I know that it won't break me. When I come to call, she won't forsake me. I'm loving angels instead. So there is symbolism there of somebody who's passed over, so which could apply to somebody. Or it could just be, I am leaving my old life behind, particularly because of the next song that randomized, which I'll talk about in a minute. Could be something to do with, I'm leaving my old life behind. I feel like I'm becoming a better person. I'm moving towards this relationship, this person who I have a lot of love for, who's like an angel to me. They protect me, they guide me, and I want to be a better person because of this relationship. So therefore, this is what the symbolism is of death of the old self, and the judgment card, which means rebirth into a higher being, right? A better version of yourself. Could be something like this. So again, do take it as it resonates. I haven't pulled any cards yet. Now, I set up the reading, and then I took my son to school, and I was trying to play songs on my way back, but Spotify really absolutely balked out. My phone and my tablet were connected, so they were trying to kind of I think there was a battle between them for who was going to get to play the song, basically. My tablet was at home, I was using my phone, so I couldn't get any songs to play, but it messed up my tablet as well, so it was silly. And then I think How to Disappear by Lana Del Rey finally played on my phone, and then it gave me one of these suggested songs, which it doesn't normally do when I'm listening to my light songs, I think because I've got so many, but it played a suggested song that I'd never heard before, but it was called A Little Bit of Love by Tom Grennan, and it had a very similar thing, a very similar feeling to the other songs that are coming through, so again, that could maybe go and have a listen to that. All the songs will be in the description box down below. You can listen to them and see if there's anything there. But I think the songs getting messed up kind of might be symbolic as well. Anything that happens before, during, after a reading tends to be part of the reading. So something to do with a messed up Spotify playlist, something like this, or a song that's jumbled up. I don't know. So I reset up my tablet to... for the reading, went back onto my light songs, randomized. I said, can I have another song for this reading? Now, bear in mind, the first song, the main song for this reading is Angels by Robbie Williams. It randomized from over 1,000 songs. It randomized Sin, Sin, Sin by Robbie Williams as another song for this playlist. So again, I get this feeling of you can see he's got an angel and a devil on his shoulder. So we've got Angels and Sin, Sin, Sin by the same artist. There's definitely a good guy, bad guy, heaven and hell, becoming a better person vibe to this whole reading. Normally when I get two songs by the same artist, it can sometimes be more about the artist than the songs as well. So somebody could have the last name Williams, somebody could be called Robbie, Rob, Roberts, Bob. So do take that if it resonates as well. Okay, so I guess we're going to start pulling some cards. I'm actually just going to redial back into the energy and light myself a joss stick, and yeah, card time. Alright, let's go and see what we get. So I'm using the Wild Unknown Archetypes deck to kind of get an idea of what we're going to discuss. So can you tell me... Whoop, got one already. I don't know if somebody's a boxer, because I was kind of getting that from the Lana Del Rey song that played. Okay. So they've given us the animal and the ring. In the underneath, we've got, very typical, Aletheia. Aletheia is like this and that are true. The positive and the negative both existing at the same time. So again, we've got angels and sin, sin, sin. So finding the grey area, finding the in-between, or balancing out two sides of yourself. something like that could be going on. But yeah, this and that are true. So it can also talk about two different people. Their truths can be different. People can have different ideas about what constitutes as angelic behavior or sinful behavior. I kind of talk about this in one of my readings. I think it was the Capricorn reading, which it's going up tomorrow. It's Mars in Capricorn, so it's not Capricorn star sign, it's Mars in Capricorn. I was sort of talking about, I mean, you'll see it when it goes up, but I was talking about my dad is left-handed and dyslexic, and he was, for a period of time in his childhood, he was at like a Catholic or Christian taught school in Nigeria. It was run by nuns, so he's taught by nuns, and very, obviously very religious, and they had this association with the left hand being like associated with the devil. So they basically forced the children to write with the right hand, but my dad was left-handed. So I think that's almost like torturous to make somebody do something that's so like unnatural to them, right? Especially to a child, and they would like hit the hands with rulers if they caught them using the left hands. So to me, that's barbaric. It's like, to me and my moral compass, you don't hit children and force them to write with the right hand if they're left-handed. Like, I used to work in a school, that is abhorrent to me, but to them, they had a different set of a different moral compass to me, where they thought, oh, it's okay to hit children if they're using their left hand because of the left. It's ridiculous, right? Absolutely ridiculous. So I mean, I don't know, maybe you disagree, but this is talking about individual truth, this and that true. Interesting, Anna Mundi is underneath, which talks about all things at once. So everything, the whole, black and white, yin and yang, both have to coexist in order to have balance in the universe. Something like this could be what's happening here. So let's read the ring first, because this is the card that came out first, and then we'll read the animal. So the ring, I believe, talks about cycles. Nothing ever goes. Leaves fall from a tree, they turn into soil nurtures the tree, more trees grow. So it's talking about cycles, the water cycle, things like this. It can also talk about a little ring. The animal talks about our wild side, the beast within, the shadow side, if you like. Not necessarily negative. It can be very, very powerful to tap into that inner animal. To have a bit of a wild, good time, to blow off steam, to find confidence and power. If you were going for, if you were in a race, say you were in a race, one of these really long ones where it's like you have to go through, you have to crawl through the mud, and then you have to like leap over obstacles, like an obstacle course race, and you wanted to win that race, you would tap into that inner animal. You tap into kind of your wild, competitive side. So there is a place for our baser nature in the world. If you were going to, go to bed with your husband or wife, maybe you don't have a really good time in bed, you might tap into your inner animal. You see what I mean? There's a place for it. And the more, if you think about Victorian society, English Victorian society, they very much repressed, they had strong religious beliefs. They very much repressed a certain side of themselves. And what happens is, you can't repress something that okay, I understand what it's saying to me. So this says that everything must exist somewhere. You can't really ever reduce anything. You can't make anything less. It's always going to be 50-50. The black and white is always going to be 50-50. So it's better to have them work in harmony than try to repress something. So they're showing me like something literally being compressed. So I don't know what it is. It looks like a big marshmallow, but it's getting compressed by a big machine. So you can compress something, you can flatten it, but it's never really going to go anywhere. It's just compressed, right? It's still there. The molecules haven't dissipated and turned into something else and gone. Or even if they did, they would still exist in the world. There's only so much space in the world and so many things in it, and things can transform and turn into something else, but they never really go. So if you're squashing your marshmallow side, this animal side, for too long, you can only sustain that for a certain length of time before the kind of the baser nature will come out in some sort of way. And if it's been, if you look at Victorian society, you have the repression actually caused other things to happen that were kind of worse. You know, syphilis was rampant because all the men were kind of like going off with, you know, other women and kind of spreading things. And, you know, so they had this surface veneer of like, oh, we're perfect, we have this perfect society and perfect family life, we're God-fearing people, when really, because of the repression, it kind of like spilt out in unhealthy ways. So it's better to have a little bit of what's bad for you, I think, to keep it in check, is almost kind of what this is saying here, or to utilize the darkest shadow of our nature in a way that's healthy. For example, in a competitive sports, perhaps, you know, you're allowing that side of yourself to come out. So I think that's, to me, that's the message that's trying to come through there. It's funny, it says as well in that song, Sin, 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 it says, hate the sin, not the sinner. Hate the sin, not the sinner. Is it we're on to a winner? Okay. He with the outsing cast the first stone, I guess. So there's obviously things that are really, really wrong, really, really bad. And I'm not saying we should do that. Okay, I'm not saying we should go out and have like the purge or anything like this. You know, there's extremes which are really bad. But what I'm saying is that you can avoid the extremes by allowing a little bit of that side of ourselves to come through in healthy ways. Does that make sense? So the infinite, the wheel, the connection. The ring is an image of connectedness. Rather than viewing life as linear, as a series of progressive achievements, the ring challenges us to sense the cyclical, infinite nature of our world and experiences. Beginnings and endings fall by the wayside as we practice seeing ourselves as part of the cosmic circularity of creation. For this reason, it's no surprise a ring is worn on the finger to represent eternal love that surpasses time and space and worldly things. So much can be projected onto this archetypal image because it mimics the Earth's orbit around our great sun and the intimate bond between two lovers. It is the micro and the macro united. I wonder if that's why they were showing me compression, micro and macro united. This card calls us to deepen connection with self, other, and the world at large. Meanwhile, there may be a literal ring waiting to adorn your finger. Well, we'll see. So 19. Let's go to that. 19. The animal. The beast, the wild one, the she-wolf. We are mammals. I hate this next line so much. I mean, speak for yourself. We are mammals. The hair on our chest and between our legs reminds us so. We try hard to deny our unrefined animalistic nature, yet through this archetype we tap into the power and direction. Activating the animal means reawakening our relationship to nature in the most broad and embodied sense. Drinking from waterfalls, roaring at the moon, opening our eyes underwater, eating berries from the vine. The life force of our planet begs us to set down the devices, the constraints and the social constructs and remember the warm blood that pulses through our veins. The animal longs for breath, food, procreation and physicality. It wants soil under our nails and starlight on our skin. If this all sounds terribly unsophisticated to you, take note that it is said that when Buddha became enlightened, he roared like a great lion. The animal demands we get comfortable in our own skin. The minute you accept, express and celebrate the physical body, you can tap into animal energy. Maybe somebody's getting married and they're having their wedding night. I don't know. Notice your resistance to the animal within. Where does it come from? What has it kept you from doing, wild one? It's funny, the wild thing was coming through on one of my readings recently. Wild thing, it came through twice for one of my last Tell Me Anything readings, and then Hungry Like the Wolf keeps on playing at the moment, so maybe somebody's hungry like the wolf. They're coming after you, maybe with an engagement ring, I don't know. Yeah, let's get a little bit more from... Yeah, let's go for this deck next. So tell me more about the ring, please. Why is the ring here? Look, someone's being secretive. Someone's being secretive. What are they being secretive about? There you go. Rebirth. I told you. Didn't I tell you? The two cards that I saw from this deck were the Death card, which was on the top, trying to slide off, which I showed you, and Judgment. Now, this is the rebirth after death. So it could definitely be talking about... because this is talking about nothing ever really goes anywhere. And this is talking about black and white. So this to me is... the side that we see, the 3D, you know, tangible reality that we see around us. And then this also talks about the other side. If you think a little bit like Stranger Things, but less evil, you've got our reality, and then the kind of hidden reality that's kind of almost like a mirror reality. Alice in Wonderland could be another reference. So this talks about the unseen. You could see it as a different plane of existence, if you think about like maybe like ghosts. And I'm not kind of endorsing any view here. I'm just talking about ideas and philosophizing, right? I don't know what exists. I don't know what's true and what's not true. I'm just theorizing and telling you what I'm getting from the cards. So if you want to buy into an idea of our reality and a different plane of reality that's the negative, you know, to our positive, the polar opposite perhaps of our existence. It's so funny as well. Please do watch that Capricorn reading tomorrow if you have a Mars placement in Capricorn. But yeah, it's so weird. So I'm getting a bit freaked out. Yeah, so this talks about, to me, it says that nothing really ever goes anywhere. You know, the researchers are doing a lot of stuff at the moment with like black holes and that kind of matter and antimatter, this kind of thing. So I think what this is saying is everything is cyclical. Nothing ever really goes anywhere. I know that there's been studies done, and I can't say that this is like academic knowledge. This is like something that I've heard. So I'd have to go and look it up and see the validation of this. But I've heard that people have done tests where they've had like a sealed room, a sealed chamber, where nothing can go in or out, and they are like taking the weight of the room or the pressure in the room or something. They can see how much matter is in the room, and when so they'll have a person in there, and when that person passes away, the room gets lighter or there's less matter in the room. So it's like they know that there's something that exits the body when the person dies, and it leaves the room from this sealed chamber. You know, so where does it go? Where does it go? Because it can't just disappear, right? It has to have gone somewhere. So again, that's not scientific knowledge. That's to me, that's not scientific knowledge. That's something that I've heard. I don't even know where I've heard it from, but it's definitely something we could look into and look up, right? But for the sake of this reading, that's what we're buying into here. So as I was talking about the water cycle, the life cycle, trees, where do things go? So it's saying that nothing ever really goes anywhere. It just transforms into something different. A caterpillar completely breaks down in its chrysalis in order to come out as a butterfly. You know, it's so funny because I watch Awakening to Spirit, who's another tarot card reader, and her Libra reading this week was a bit freaky for me, and it was kind of saying, was it her Libra reading? I'm not even sure. I was watching a reading this week and it was talking about something really, really similar, where it was like you completely leave your past self behind. You completely transform into something new. It's like you don't even take any clothes with you. It's like completely something new. So yeah, it could definitely be talking about death and rebirth. Death and rebirth, depends. Like, I don't know, I always say rebirth, rewind. Judgment, it can be hearing a call, so it doesn't necessarily mean literal death. It can also be talking about again, the ending of a big phase of your life, but it's quite a dramatic ending where, you know, I don't know, maybe maybe you're in a bad relationship and you just leave the house with nothing, right, and just leave everything behind and go on to something better. It can also talk about hearing a call to move to something new and better. You know, feeling a strong pull. It could be that your instincts are really trying to pull you somewhere right now, really trying to get you to leave one situation and move towards something a place where you know you're meant to be. Maybe someone's proposing to you, you need to make a judgment call. I don't know. Could be a number of things. Let's keep going. The animal. What does the animal want to say? I mean, these Kim Kranz deck, they get me really quite philosophical and deep, but they really take me on a bit of a wild ride. The Hierophant, oh my God, are you serious? I'm talking about getting philosophical and then I pull the Hierophant card. These are both major arcana, by the way. This is pretty big, whatever this is. The Hierophant is if you believe in God, the Hierophant represents God, the universe, divine knowing, higher knowledge, higher learning, university, seeking wisdom from somebody who is older and wiser than yourself. It talks about traditional structure, the powers that be, church, government, people who make the rules. So any of these things could be represented here by the Hierophant, but it's a very powerful card. We've got the Judgment and the Hierophant. This is like, it's more or less Judgment Day, right? Judgment and God. And it's funny as well, because I always, now I believe in everything. I'm very aletheia, and this is my mindset. I'm like, everything exists. Everything exists. Like, this and that are true. Everything exists. All religions are based on the same universal concept, right? Everything is one. So yeah, in this kind of like accepting everything nature that I have, when I started this reading, I always ask for Archangel Michael to come in, and again, this is just a name that I give to this energy. It's a protective energy. It comes into, you know, if you watch tarot card readers, it's known to be an assistive energy to tarot card readers. So I always ask that energy to come in to make sure, to get them to guide me. I release control so that whatever message comes through, it's not to do with me, it's to do with what they want to talk about. So yeah, but I also asked for, because there was this funny thing going on with music, I also asked for Archangel Gabriel. So again, it's just an energy, a name that I give to the energy that I associate with music. I also kind of called it Apollo. So you want to kind of like different names for the same energy. So this is an energy that kind of is associated with music, with speech, with communication, and literally the Judgment card, normally on this card, this person up here is normally Archangel Gabriel. It's a representation of them blowing the trumpet, you know, for Judgment Day. So it's interesting that I called that energy in, and now we've got this Judgment card with this dove, right, symbolizing peace. Also, if again talking about light and dark, they're trying to give me a song and I can't quite get it, but it'll probably come back to me. Talking about this light and dark. So we've got this white bird, this white dove, and this dark crow-like animal. So this, to me, it's funny as well. There was two crows on my road this morning. I was a little bit worried that a car was going to pull in, but they flew away, so they were safe. Now, it's not, I don't see this as good and evil. This is not the way I read this. I see this as yin and yang, or I'm associating this with peace today. I'm kind of getting peace through. I'm actually burning a lavender joss stick because I wanted to get peace in this reading. So peace, this angelicness, this purity. The crows talk to me about the almost like if you think of the High Priestess card, the ability to connect with this other side that I'm talking about, this other, the opposite side, the opposite plane to us, what's beyond the veil of what we can see in our tangible reality. So to me, this is the 3D tangible reality, and then the spiritual world. This is what this is saying to me today. Both existing at exactly the same time, like a mirror image. Oh my God, the Emperor on the underlying. So the Emperor is, it can talk about father figures, it can talk about bosses. Again, the Hierophant and the Emperor together, this is like very much the ruling powers, the forces that run society, you know, church, government. This can also talk about like a boss, or you may have a father that's very, very spiritual, very religious. I can't believe Judgment, Hierophant and Emperor together like that in one reading. They're all my, this is quite big. This is quite big energy. And this also looks like an eclipse, like the moon moving in front of the sun. So again, it's light and dark. I feel like this is talking about coming into oneness, coming together, becoming whole, because we've got that enemy on Monday there. Right. This reading is getting freaky. Can't believe that. Okie dokie. I guess we're gonna keep going. Yeah, I want to go to this deck. Can I get a card on the Ring and Judgment, please, immediately? The Empress. Oh my God, we've got the Emperor and the Empress from different decks. So could be two people coming together to work together. Could be parents. Could be boss, mother, mother and father. It could be the Divine Feminine and the Divine Masculine becoming one. So if you're into twin flame readings, you're going to absolutely love that. Union, you know, union. Oh God, what's that? The heart there underneath. The ring, the animal, black and white. Divine Feminine, Divine Masculine. It could be balancing out the two sides of yourself. You know, connecting in, doing that shadow work, becoming whole. Becoming the yin and yang within yourself, you know, a full person, if you want to put it that way. Becoming everything you can possibly be. But the Empress is a card about expansion, about really owning your life, really bossing it. She's all four Queens of the Tarot, just as the Emperor is all four Kings of the Tarot. So both of these cards talk about really coming into your own, really being like the best version of yourself that you can possibly be. It's hard to sustain that, but definitely if you had something to do, I was talking about like winning a race, you would want to kind of really be the best version of yourself for that period of time. So this is talking about, I could also be talking about being a mother, or being very nurturing, being a provider, having a huge amount of unconditional love to give. The Empress is an absolutely gorgeous energy. Being very open. Yeah, really nurturing, I'm seeing with the hay there. So it could be that somebody's wife or mother has passed away, and if that is the case, my heart absolutely goes out to you. But this is saying that they've transformed into something new. They've not really gone anywhere, they're just different. They're just on a different plane now. I hope that's helpful. I really don't want to make light of anything. But the Empress also talks about growth and possibility and opportunities. She is a creation energy. She's normally symbolized as being pregnant. So this would say to me that somebody is leaving the old behind, and they're coming out to be the very best version of themselves. And with that, with this amazing energy of somebody being in this, they could be they could really be kind of coming into their own. It could be that somebody was in a bit of a dark situation. They heard this kind of call, this inner knowing that they had to move, that they had to do something, that they had some kind of like job to do on earth, and then they kind of like absolutely boss it and come out as the best version of themselves, because this is the rebirth from something that was dark and unhappy into this amazing Empress energy, which is basically like the world's your oyster. Anything is possible. Sometimes as well, if this is a love interest for somebody, because all the songs that came through, apart from that Lana Del Rey song, were by men, like men singing love songs. It could be that somebody has a woman up on a pedestal. It's like this person would be, if you could write a list of your perfect woman, again, I don't know who's coming to the reading, so take it as it resonates, leave it if it doesn't. If you could write your checklist of what your perfect partner, your perfect love interest, your life partner, your wife would be, this person would kind of tick all those boxes for you. It's like they're really up on a pedestal for you, that you admire them, you think that they get everything under control, they're everything that you could possibly want embodied in this person on earth. So do take it however it resonates, because this could be why, you know, maybe somebody's proposing to someone, they're going to go into a new phase of their life, right? It could be any of those things. Can I get a card, please, on the animal and the hierophant? The animal and the hierophant. Oh my goodness, what a beautiful card to get. 10 of water. This is, look at the happy little Buddha. Talking about the Buddha as well, the Buddha roared like a lion. That's what it said here. It said the Buddha roared like a lion when he became enlightened. And it looks like this crow's calling. So yeah, whoever this is on this side, they are going towards their happiness. The 10 of water is happiness. Whatever happiness is for you, but with shared with other people, shared with the community around you. So the place where you're happiest. So very enlightened as well, very, very much like somebody could have discovered spirituality. It does feel like, you know, in that Robbie Williams song, I'm Loving Angels Instead and Sin, 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 it really feels like somebody's leaving perhaps their old life behind. They've kind of seen the light. They're moving towards something that's pure and healthy and true. They're moving towards unconditional love, because that's what will truly make them happy. His little feet. So I'm just noticing as well the pink of these tulips around him. I'm hearing true love, like tulip, true love is what was coming through. So there's a lot of emotions here, but he's playing happily in his emotions. He's it's like somebody's discovering new emotions. Somebody's like, it's coming through as very playful energy, like enjoying themselves, finding happiness in the little things, being quite childlike and explorative, after coming through something that possibly was quite dark. But it's lovely. It really is. The Buddha roared like a lion when he became enlightened. Okay. Oh my God. Oh my God. How beautiful is that? The love card on the bottom. Yeah, I'm really feeling like this is two people. This is a spiritual connection. I'm just the messenger of fire. This is like passionate communication. Right, I'm going to pull that love card down and pop it in between these two energies because that's gorgeous. This is like a soulmate connection. Look at that. I'm so glad I did this on camera, because normally when I do the Tell Me Anything readings, I like to do them off camera. And if I feel like it has a good enough message, I'll kind of do it on camera and explain it to you, like talk you through it. I normally pull the cards off camera for Tell Me Anything readings, but for some reason today I was like, I want to do it on camera. And that makes me nervous as well, because I'm like, I have no idea what's going to come through. And literally I could not have, if I'd have done this off camera, you would have all think I'd set it up. You'd have thought that I was making it up, but I'm not. It feels like we're on the verge of something really big. Okay, tell me more about Empress and Judgment, please. Empress and Judgment. There's the tulips. No, lilies. They're lilies, aren't they? Colour lilies. This also talks about nostalgia for me. It can talk about death. Lilies are associated with death. It could be that this is a soulmate connection that you've had a past life with. You know, this person's been reborn into something new. 30, the King of Swords. The King of Swords is communication. Somebody could be communicating something here. I did get a reading the other day. It was actually, I recorded it on the 30th of January, but for some reason I felt like I had to hold it back. 30th of January. Oh my God. And I felt like I had to hold it back, the communication. Like, did somebody pass away on the 30th of January and they've held back communication? Because that's the way I'm reading this right now. That reading that I did, the Tell Me Anything reading, the funeral speech, I've forgotten it again. As soon as I'm on camera, I forget what it's called. Something Logos. I can't believe I've forgotten it again. That is the most bizarre thing. Is someone trying to give a speech, but they keep forgetting the words? Epitaphos Logos by... Oh, it's going to really bother me if I don't get it. Epitaphos Logos by... It's driving me insane. When I'm off camera, I know it, and as soon as I'm on camera, it goes. It's this really weird thing. That's so weird. I feel like I'm in a bit of a weird time loop at the moment. Again, like that Cappy reading that is going up tomorrow. So again, I'm talking about a reading that I did in the past that you're gonna see in the future. There's some weird time loop stuff going on here. It's the strangest thing, right? So it's not even for Capricorns though, because it's Mars in Capricorn, so it's for like different people. And that was part of the strangeness of that reading, because normally when I do Capricorn energies, it feels really it feels really pally. I always have like a cup of coffee, and it's always like I feel like I'm sitting down with an old friend. It's like this really kind of familiar energy to their readings. And then in that reading that I'm going to put up tomorrow, everything felt off, everything felt backwards, and it was the strangest thing, because I was like, I should feel like I'm so familiar with Capricorn energy, but normally the people coming to my readings are Capricorn sun signs, and I was talking to like different people, but it was still Capricorn. It was the weirdest feeling, and I've only got that for that reading. It wasn't for anyone else's reading, so I don't know what that was. All right, the Hierophant and Ten of Water. Oh my god, the video cut out, and I'm so annoyed that you didn't see my reaction, because this reading is so perfectly balanced. Right, basically the next card that came out was this Mass card, 40, and I was saying, look, it goes from 30 to 40, 30 to 40. So then I was saying this is like again, it's talking about balance for me, the yin and the yang, the light, the night and the dark. We had this kind of eclipse here, so we've got all this kind of like balance stuff going through. It was also giving me the gates of Janus. I think maybe this is why it cut out, because I did a long-winded speech about the gates of Janus from classical culture. I studied classics. My favourite period was the Augustan period. The Emperor Augustus was very, very famous because he brokered peace for Rome twice, which meant he was able to shut the gates of Janus twice. It was like a big deal. It'd never been shut twice by the same person before, I don't think. So he was connecting himself to like the famous kings of ancient Rome, like King Numa, who's a symbol of a king who was associated with being a very religious and peaceful rule. So this idea of peace, somebody brokering peace in some sort of way, is symbolised here by this white dove. And also I'm lighting a lavender joss stick, because I was getting this feeling of like somebody needing peace at the start of the reading. So something about establishing peace, bringing two sides together. The god Janus is also associated with pathways, leaving the past behind and looking forward to the future. He's a protective god in ancient Rome, who protects travellers as they embark on a new journey and leave the past behind. So a very interesting god to have, considering we've got all this stuff about leaving the past behind and going into the new, right? The next the card that came out on the underline here is these fish. It was giving me, with the King of Swords here, which can talk about contracts and business and communication. Oh, sorry, no, the King of Pentacles. Sorry, the King of Pentacles, who talks about like career, finances, things like this. It was giving me... because the fish symbolize wealth and abundance, especially kind of like with this Buddha here. There's this symbolism of like abundance, wealth, prosperity. Could be emotional prosperity, but it was also, I was getting this thing about both salmon swimming upstream, so somebody who's swimming in the opposite direction of everybody else. And this gave me investments, like investment banking, where it's like if everybody's buying up the stocks and shares for something, then the stock price goes down because it's so popular. And then if you buy the stock that nobody else is buying and it turns out to do very well, you can get a lot of money from it. So there's something to do with investing your time and energy, or money, or just doing something that's against the grain, doing something that nobody else is doing the unexpected. So yeah, going against the grain, swimming upstream, because that's where the profit is. Whatever the profit symbolizes for you, it could be emotional happiness. Maybe everybody else is going for the money, you're going for the happiness. You know, everybody else is going for this direction, you're going back for this woman. I don't know how it works out. The rainbow fish as well, which may be significant. I've got this, I didn't mention my rainbow paperweight. I was kind of really drawn to it this morning. Before I started the reading, you can go back and check. It's been up in that corner the whole time. Rainbows symbolize people going to heaven, or you know, happiness, community, all these different things that rainbows symbolize, healing. It's also giving me the depth. So it was giving me this thing about almost like emotional depth, going deeper than other people, but also this symbolism of the deeper the water, the bigger the fish. So it was telling me something about with the Emperor symbolizing abundance and growth and wealth. It was telling me that in order to grow bigger, whether that's spiritually or like a business, you need to go to a bigger pond. So I was getting a sense that maybe somebody was traveling, maybe somebody was like up in roots and moving to a new country, a new city. It could be for business, because with lockdown, a lot of businesses have invested in better ways of keeping in touch online, better ways of doing business online, so you don't have to do things face to face necessarily anymore. So I think a lot of businesses are looking to move from the cities that they have been in, that they've been established in, and going to new cities where like the rent is cheaper and things like this. So whether it's a business doing this, whether you run a business and you want to move it to overseas or to a place where it's cheaper because you can do more online now, or you're looking for a job, which means that you have to travel. There could be something like that for somebody. I am getting this sense of travel. Also, it's really interesting that this is number 34. Now, I noticed that we have 30 and 40, and this was like, so it's 3 and 4 and 34. So the number 3 and 4 may be important. There may be something that's happening in 3 to 4 months, or it may be that, sorry, my mind went blank for a second. It may be something to do with March, April, January, February, March, April. It could be that something's happening. So the next card that came out over here was occupation, which validated for me that we're talking about a job here, something that somebody does for work or as a hobby. Somebody could have nostalgia for something that they did in the past. Or somebody is completely changing their life, doing something completely different, or moving because they've got a job somewhere. On this side, it came out with despair. Oh, I noticed as well, is 34, 34. This is really important. 3s and 4s add together to make a 7, which talks about a life path, feeling the call, hearing the call to do something that feels like it's your true calling. Over here, we've got this despair card that came out on this kind of the more masculine side. And I was saying, it could be that somebody's looking for a job. They know what they want to do. They know what this career change is for them, but nobody's hiring at the moment. Or it could be that somebody's losing a job, but they're going to move on to something better. But I was saying, well, why despair? What's causing this despair? And I noticed that it's 32, and I was like, well, there's 2 missing. The despair is because there's 2 missing. 34, 34, but this is just 32. So where's the other 2? 3 and 2 add together to make a 5, which symbolizes a change. And then I flipped the card. I was so annoyed that this didn't happen on camera. I flipped it, and it was the main female, and it's the number 2. So what's missing here is the main female. Now, if you identify as female and you're watching this, you're the main female. So I feel like this is more your side on this side. You know, if you, yeah, no 2 ways about it. If you are female, this is you. If you identify as male or non-binary or not female, then when you hear main female, who do you think of? Like, think of it like a snap thing. Who's the first woman that you think of? Who's always on your mind? They're giving me, you were always on my mind. You were always on my mind. It's still going, tell me that your sweet love hasn't died. Give me one more chance to keep you satisfied. Maybe I didn't treat you. Okay, sorry, it was still going. But this is what's missing for this person. This is why it's not 34, because they're missing the main female. So whether it's a case of this person has to get a new job, this person's going on to a new life somewhere, a new job, a new career, moving location, but they can't take the main female with them. They're leaving the main female behind, which is why it's kind of bittersweet. The sun and the moon kind of say bittersweet to me here. It could be that this person doesn't know if this person's going to come with them. I don't think that they're married, because the marriage card hasn't come out. It could be somebody that this person works with, who they think very highly of, but it's like, I'm going to go and do this new job, but I don't know if this person's going to move to the same department, something like this. Or it could be that somebody is leaving some kind of career behind. They're moving job to move towards, because this fish is facing this way, towards their main female, towards their empress. But they don't know if this person's going to accept them. It could be this person's going to propose and they don't know what this person's going to say. So there's a sense of anxiety and despair over it. So very annoyingly, you didn't see the songs that came through for this either. I randomised Dark Horse by Katy Perry on this side. I'm coming at you like a dark horse. Are you ready for the perfect storm? On this side, I randomized check. I mean, you can still see check here by Queen Herbie, sorry. If you want the best, I'm gonna need a check. So it's almost like this person's knowing their worth, particularly in business, knowing the worth, saying, yeah, I'm going to come and do that job, but if you want me, you're going to have to give me a really decent amount of pay. I know my worth, so I'm going to need to see, I'm going to need to know that I'm going to get, you know, this certain benefits package. I'm going to need to know that I'm going to get this certain amount of money before I sign on the dotted line, is the way this is coming through to me. Because it's almost as though, like, right, I know that I have to make a big change here. I may need to move home. I need to get a whole new business wardrobe, something like this. You know, all these things cost money, especially if you're traveling abroad or a considerable distance. That's going to be a lot of money is going to go into that. So this is saying, to make this worth it for me, I'm going to really need a decent pay package here. It is possibly what's coming through, but it's so funny. 34, 34, 32 and 2 make 34. So maybe somebody's age 34. I don't know. But yeah, that's everything I've got so far. So I guess because I like randomizing songs, I guess I'm going to randomize a song to close out the reading on camera. Can I get one more song, please? The best song you can possibly give us to close out this reading, the most meaningful song that somebody really needs to hear right now. What are we going to have for this reading? Super Vixen by Garbage. Okay, is that come down to my house, stick a stone in your mouth? Fair enough. That's not what I would have picked as the best song to close out the reading, but there you go. I think I'm going to go with the Spirit of the Animal Oracle card to close out the reading. Oh, that's so funny. On the bottom is Porcupine Spirit, time for a beginner's mind, because it really feels like somebody's completely like shedding their previous life to go to something completely new. So let's go here. Best song. What's the best card that somebody needs to hear right now? What's your best advice, please, for this reading? The people watching, what do they need to hear? On the underline, you've got Wombat Spirit, be at home. Whatever that means to you, I guess. Buffalo Spirit, in the reverse, it's the protection message. The abundant universe will provide, number 10. Yeah, 10s as well are about closing out cycles and so that you can have a new beginning. The abundant universe will provide, number 10. But you got the protection message. Buffalo, that came out for somebody. I wonder if it's Sagittarius. That's going up today, so maybe watch out for that. Somebody got the buffalo in their reading this week, in the Mars readings. Okay, protection message. When Buffalo Spirit visits you with a message of protection, he is asking you to shift your thinking from poverty consciousness. Hello. Asking you to shift your thinking from poverty consciousness to one where you trust the universe will provide. Have you been falling into financial insecurity? I'm gonna need a check. Worrying that there will not be enough money in the future. Have you been stressing and feeling sorry for yourself? God, this is this energy here. Worrying that because you have no romantic relationship now, that you will never have one. You cannot make it up, right? Despair. I said, why is this person in despair? Because they're missing the 2, because it's not 34. What's the 2? The main female. Concern, right? Oh my God, right? I'm going to read that again. I can't make it up. Have you been stressing and feeling sorry for yourself, worrying that because you have no romantic relationship now, that you will never have one? Do you see scarcity where there is, in fact, abundance? Are you comparing yourself to others and falling short? You're not like the others. You need to swim in the other direction. Self-pity, entitlement, fear and lack are all thought viruses that seduce you into darkness. Buffalo Spirit nudges you to make a gratitude list and be mindful of your thoughts at this time. Even if outer events have happened to challenge your belief in abundance, outer conditions are temporary. If you are suffering from the malaise of fear, you are impoverished. Wait, if you're suffering from the malaise of fear that you are impoverished, I can't believe it. I can't make it up. Realise that it is only poverty of perception and perspective. Prayer, communion with your higher power and gratitude coupled with compassionate, selfless service will snap you right out of it. Give to someone who has less than you. Be thankful for the tiniest things and say affirmations. Then you will remember that abundance is the true nature of the world. Well, there you go. That's your advice. So I do hope that was helpful to you. I'm going to get this uploaded and actually do something different today because I've done so many readings the past few days and I'm a bit kind of readinged out. I'm tarot out. But I hope that was helpful to you. Do leave me a few comments down there to let me know if it resonated. That's always really lovely to see. If you want to come in as a stealth watcher, I totally understand. You don't have to comment or like or subscribe. But if you do like and subscribe and share this with your friends, if you think it's their story, that is really helpful to me. It helps to grow the channel and get the messages out there to more people who need to hear them. So yeah, do take care. I hope you've enjoyed and I'll see you again soon. All the love. Bye-bye.